she's trying to equate weight loss with extermination. And I mean, let's just be real here. My superpower is infinite strength, and even I couldn't make that reach. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Katie.
What are you talking about? You are Elastigirl!
That's right. I am Elastigirl. And at my heaviest, I stretch myself to 360 pounds. And I've lost 180 pounds and kept it off for years now. And on this channel, we will discuss weight loss, weight maintenance, nonsense I see online about body positivity and fat acceptance, my experiences with all of that, and well, anything else I feel like talking about. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and let's get into today's video. So today, Katie asked me to join you since we have a brand new friend to the channel, as she goes by on social media, McKenna. And well, according to our new friend, there are some awful, terrible, disturbing things going on in the world right now. And well, it sounds like our friend might need my help. So why don't we go ahead and just dive right on in, and I'll give you my reactions along the way.
Something I really struggle with as a fat girl who thinks that being fat is cool and fun and that we don't actually need to exterminate fat people the way Serena Williams and her Roe partnership are trying to do. I don't think we need to get rid of fat people.
Exterminate? Our new friend literally just said exterminate when she's talking about weight loss. I guess the good news for our friend is you can lose weight and you're still very much alive. Or at least I am. Hi. I'm still here. I lost 180 pounds, lost half my body weight, but I'm still very much here. And I'm still me. That's the thing. Like, I've always loved baseball. I'm still into a lot of the same music I've always been into. I have the same sense of humor, just maybe a little bit darker and a little bit more twisted the older I get. I'm still very much me, and I'm still very much here. And, well, quite frankly, at my heaviest, that was a little over 17 years ago now. If I hadn't lost the weight, I don't know if I could say that. I don't know if I would be here. And I can certainly say that my quality of life wouldn't be anywhere near what it is now. So that's a very interesting choice of words. We're going to be in for a real treat today, aren't we?
And when I'm having like a bad body confidence day, I get so nervous to say anything about it and
Okay, and then if you're nervous to say something about it, then maybe you don't have to. Like, we used to go all day without having to tell every single person that we knew every single thought that crossed our minds, right? Like, or you could just tell somebody that you feel would understand. You don't necessarily have to go and tell the entire world, right?
anyone think that it's not external. Internally, if you just left me in a room with myself or with people I love, me being fat wouldn't come up. It's not an actual issue.
Okay, and is it that her weight is not an issue? Or is it that perhaps her loved ones are just simply trying to be polite and so they're not going to bring it up? I mean, I know personally, nobody said anything to me about my weight until I was close to my heaviest. And even then, they didn't say it directly to my face. I heard it through the grapevine. And once I heard it through the grapevine, I did have to sit with that and think about what was said and eventually take responsibility and accountability for the direction my life was heading. And if I hadn't heard that through the grapevine, I don't know if I would have started when I did, quite frankly, or if I might still be on that journey. I don't really know. But just because people don't say anything directly to your face, that doesn't mean that it's not an issue or that other people don't notice it. It's oftentimes, at least I've found from my experience, it's often that people are just trying to be polite and they're not going to say that directly to your face.
The issue is that everyone on Earth is whittling themselves down. They're trying to exterminate us. They don't want us to exist anymore. And that is really weighing on me.
And again, losing weight is not the same as extermination. I am still very much here. And so as somebody who has lost weight, hearing weight loss be talked in this way, like I don't exist, body positivity and fat acceptance all the time. They will bring up the idea that they are dehumanized in the way that they are talked about, that fat people are just treated less than human. Where clearly our friend doesn't even think that I exist, or I mean any of us who have lost weight, and like it's just mind-boggling to me that on one hand they will call out all of these things as dehumanizing and terrible and awful, but yet they'll turn around and just do it to another group of people. It's just the group that they have deemed is justified to receive that sort of treatment. And is that not the same exact argument that they say that happens with fat people? So I have no understanding why they would want to perpetuate that very same behavior. If it's bad behavior, it's bad behavior, no matter who is doing it and who is the recipient. I have no understanding of that whatsoever. And then the other thing that I just don't understand at all, okay, again, with body positivity and fat acceptance, they love to use the terms that they are just existing in a larger body. They are living in a larger body, right? They're still them. They're still people. They are still deserving of respect and all of these other things, right? That's their argument all the time. But yet, if I exist in a smaller body, now it's what? Extermination? And they just don't want me to exist, or like I have conformed and now I get to exist. This is all ridiculous, and it's all inflammatory language when we are literally just talking about weight loss. And she just said previously that she's okay internally and that all of these things are coming from external factors, right? But really? Yeah, I'm not buying that, because other people losing weight wouldn't be affecting her this much if she actually were okay internally.
And then when I go and try to get dressed and have a regular body confidence issue that is so normal, especially for women under this stupid patriarchy, that we all feel bad all the time, even those very thin women feel bad. These people I know who are on Ozempic, they're like, okay, well, I'm thin now, but I need to get a neck lift. I need to get a boob job. I need to get a haircut. Because it will never be enough.
It will never be enough if you don't think you are enough. Once you think you're enough, none of this really matters unless you want it to. Like, legitimately, the way that she is just describing all of that makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, because I don't view myself at all that way. And I know a lot of people that don't view themselves that way either. And yes, there are days where I might not feel the greatest about myself, but more often than not, it has nothing to do with appearance and everything to do with the way my body is functioning that day. Like, yes, I am incredibly bendy and stretchy, and it's my superpower, and in many ways it has served me over the years. Unfortunately, I do have a connective tissue disorder. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And with that comes a whole lot of different symptoms. It comes with flare-ups, it comes with good days, bad days, all sorts of things. And well, if I'm having a bad day with how my body is actually functioning that day, that's going to be top priority over literally anything else. I don't care what I look like on those days. Like, at all. Not going to do my hair, not going to worry about makeup. I will likely be in my pajamas all day long. They might even be the same pajamas from yesterday if, like, I'm not able to get up and move around. Like, I'm not going to care at all about these things. So if you're putting that much of your self-worth in your appearance and how other people are treating you based on your appearance, then maybe we are basing our self-worth on things that are just a little bit too shaky to make the foundation. So maybe we should be building our self-confidence and our self-worth on a little bit more stable ground, like who we are as individuals or things that we have achieved. Because I have to be honest, after I've lost weight and, so many other things in my life, getting through to the other side with my nasty ankle injury and relearning how to walk again, doing all of my races and and proving to myself that I can continue to stay active even after all of these things. And just so many other things that I've gone through in my life. That seems like a lot more stable ground for me to build my self-confidence on and not base so much of it on my appearance.
And I really hate being a part of that. But I'm also on this app trying to be like authentic and be myself and like be a person that people who follow me can believe. So of course I have days, like I just posted a video where I was like, everything in my closet makes me want to, because I hate that my face and body look this way. When I say that, I don't want thin people to come in and be like, yeah, I agree. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. I'm still very cute and I think being fat is awesome.
Okay, so does she want to be authentic or does she want people to like her and agree with her? Because realistically, anytime you put yourself out there anywhere, people are going to give you feedback one way or another. I mean, that's just the reality of things. So does she want to actually build an audience where she's authentic with who she is? Or is she just trying to hear back what she wants to hear from her audience? Because, yeah, I have to be honest, if you're actually confident internally, like she said she was earlier, none of these things would be going through her head. She would just be who she is. And yes, I understand that even when you are confident, you might have those moments where you have that self-doubt, but you're going to have those moments of self-doubt. And then you remind yourself who you are, or, you remind yourself what you've achieved, and then you get back on business, right? You don't sit there and make a whole video and put it up and say, well, I wanted to tell you I was having a bad day, but I didn't know how people were going to receive it. That's not what confident people do. They might think about it in the moment of self-doubt, but then they keep it moving and they remember who they are.
So it's really hard to have these days where like you don't feel amazing, but the answer is not cut my body in half and whittle myself away under the control of the fascist state.
Okay, and I didn't do any of those things that she described in order to lose weight. I did not have to cut myself in half. I didn't whittle myself away. I literally just ate in a slight caloric deficit, and I did it continually and sustained that long enough that I was able to lose the weight. Admittedly, it took me quite a while. It took me 7.5 years to lose all this weight, and I did have a couple of kids back to back in there. So no, you don't have to go to crazy extremes to lose weight.
It's just something I'm thinking about a lot, and I don't know if this all makes sense, but I'm gonna put it out because it's what's on my heart. It's what's on my heart today. But like, it really stresses me out that I'm having all of these thoughts and feelings that I'm afraid to put out there because I don't want the like ruling class of like skinny warriors, not warriors, you guys don't eat enough to fight.
Okay, the ruling class, that's the billionaires. And if our friend is having this much confusion about what she is feeling, this sounds like something she might want to go talk to a therapist about. Or at the very least, she could have left this in her drafts.
But I don't want you guys to think that you and I are thinking the same thing. Because we're not. But like, am I allowed to have an off day without it being, okay, girl, you hate yourself. You got to get in the gym. You got to get on those pills, bitch. You got to get on those shots. I don't want to. I won't. I hate you. And I love me. And I love the fat girls with me.
Okay, and if our friend loves herself that much and loves fat girls that much, then why is she spending any energy hating on thin women or people that don't think like her? Why is she wasting any of her time or energy on that? Like, truly, I don't have any understanding of that whatsoever. Because realistically, it doesn't sound like our friend actually believes what she is saying. It sounds like she wants to believe what she is saying, but realistically, if she actually did love herself the way that she says she does, I truly don't think these things would be bothering her. I really don't think they would at all. And again, not every single thought that we have needs to be shared with the entire world all the time, right? If you have something that you think might not go over so well on social media, why don't you just talk to people in real life that you know? Talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to your loved ones, friend. You know, the ones that she said wouldn't have any issue with her being fat. Why doesn't she take that conversation there? Because realistically, once you bring it to the internet's gonna internet. And you might get back what you want to hear. You might get back a whole bunch of stuff you could have never even imagined hearing. So that's the gamble we all take when we post content, right? So if she is feeling that way and it is bothering her that much, then I would definitely suggest to our friend that she goes and speaks to somebody about it. Whether she wants to go talk to a therapist, and no shame whatsoever. I spent like 8.5 years in therapy, so definitely no shame there. Or go talk with family or friends or someone you think might actually understand you. Because again, once you take it to the internet, there is no guarantee on what the response will be. So then, let's talk about the language that our friend is using throughout this TikTok. She's trying to equate weight loss with extermination. And I mean, let's just be real here. My superpower is infinite strength, and even I couldn't make that reach. What the hell is that? If you exterminate, it means they no longer exist. I'm very much here. And for a group that talks all the time about dehumanizing language and how it's used against them, oh, how the turntables. But let's go ahead and check out this next TikTok and see what else our friend has to say.
When are we going to understand that it's all the same thing? I had somebody comment on my video the other day saying that Ozempic and these weight loss drugs are trying to exterminate fat people. They want to get rid of us. And somebody commented and said, how dare you use the same language about this that is used about what's happening in the Middle East?
Yeah, and I would agree with that commenter, because what's going on over in Palestine, the UN has recognized it. And I can't say the actual word, the G word, but yeah, the UN has recognized what's going on there. And it's not just happening in Palestine. There's other places as well where we have that particular issue going on, and other atrocities around the world, even if they are not necessarily rising to that level. And our friend has compared taking weight loss medication, which, you know, that's completely voluntary, as what is being done to those poor individuals in those areas. Like, I can't even understand this. I cannot wrap my mind around this. Again, super stretch, and I can't wrap my mind around this. I can't understand the mental gymnastics that she is performing to try to get to this at all. Like, this is beyond my scope, and my scope is infinite. I'm Elastigirl, damn it. Is she somehow stretching further than me?
It's all the same thing. And that isn't to obviously discount what's happening. It's really...
Yes, it does discount it. If you say it's all the same thing, then yes, you're absolutely discounting what is going on over in Palestine right now. 1,000%. Because that is not even close to the same thing. And I can't even believe I have to say these words out loud. Going on a weight loss medication, or having weight loss surgery, or even eating in a caloric deficit, she's missing one giant piece to all of that, and this is consent. People have to be willing to partake in those actions. They have to be willing to seek out the doctors to go get weight loss surgery or to go on these medications. They have to be willing to sustain a caloric deficit long enough to see results. Yeah. There's consent required there at every step of the way. Where what's going on over in Palestine and other atrocities around the world, that consent doesn't exist. That's the first thing they took from them, was their consent. So what she's trying to say, it's all the same thing, and that's not discrediting what's going on over there. Of course it is. Again, I can't wrap my mind around any of this.
Bad. Lots of stuff is really bad, and it all comes from the same place. It's all white supremacy. It's all heteronormativity and capitalism. It's all the same thing. Fat phobia is racism.
No, it's not.
Racism is classism. Classism is racism. The way that the modern world has been created is with capital and control as its guiding principles.
Okay, so she keeps trying to say that everything is the same. But objectively, that's just not accurate. These terms, racism and classism and all of these other terms, they exist for a reason. And yes, we have intersectionality. And yes, we have plenty of overlap in many cases. But that doesn't mean everything is all the same. And that just strips away all of the nuance. It strips away the severity of some of these things. This is just, if everything is the same, then it's nothing. Like, legitimately, I don't think our friend is understanding at all what she is saying. Because I can't wrap my mind around this at all. I can't even make heads or tails, like, in a true sense of what she's saying. She keeps saying that they're trying to exterminate fat people. What? Because they're just not going to be fat anymore? They're still going to be people. They will still exist, just in a smaller body. And that is so terrifying to our friend that she is using this inflammatory language and trying to justify that and say that it's on the same level as all of these other terrible things in the world, including current atrocities that are happening. That's just absolutely ridiculous. And if she really does want to be an ally for these things, if she wants to be an ally against racism, why is she trying to center herself in this whole matter? She's trying to say that what she's going through is just as bad as everybody else. When objectively, I just can't agree with that at all. Like, on any level. And the fact that she is still trying to equate all of this, okay? I knew we were going to be in for a treat. I just didn't know it was going to be this big of a treat. Okay.
So, when they're trying to whittle down every single fat person, they're so excited that they found a drug that makes it so we don't exist anymore.
And once again, if you lose weight, you still very much exist. And as a matter of fact, you'll likely exist for a longer period of time. And the quality of life that you'll have during that time will be much improved over what it was, especially if you're morbidly obese and then you get down to a healthy weight. That's just the reality of things. It's not trying to whittle people down. It's not trying to make it so they don't exist anymore. Unless our friend has just wrapped being fat so tightly into her identity that she can't unwrap it in her mind at this point. That's the only thing that I can think of in my mind, that our friend has identified as being fat for so long in her life, and this has been so important to her, that she can't understand or conceptualize what her life might be if she isn't fat. And I can understand that to some degree. When I was at 360 pounds, I never dreamed that I'd be able to lose 180 pounds and then keep it off for as long as I have. I didn't dream of this end goal. At that point, I was just trying to think 5, 10, maybe 20 pounds at a time. And just the idea that if I was making progress, then eventually I would get to where I needed to go. But the idea of trying to lose 180 pounds all at once at that stage, it was just way too daunting for me in my mind at that point. And part of that reason was because I had just kind of convinced myself for so long that I was just always going to be fat and there wasn't anything that I could ever do about it. So once I had kind of identified that way, it took a little while for me to get past that in my own mind and then start to see a life beyond that. And by doing it 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds at a time and thinking of it as a much smaller goal as opposed to all at once when I had that much to lose, it definitely made it a little easier for me to slowly shift my mindset about that. So again, I can understand where our friend is coming from to some degree, but that just does kind of indicate to me that she very much identifies as fat to the point that she cannot see any other life beyond that at this point.
And again, not to devalue any of these things. I consider them all very important. If tomorrow they released a drug that said, okay, we cured blackness. If you just take this pill, you can be white. And then the problem will be fixed.
Did she really just say that? I mean, I guess I should not be surprised because she's over here saying that everything is all the same and anything terrible in the world, like she said already some really crazy things. But did she really just say that? Is she trying to equate being fat, something that is within our ability to change with our skin color? Did she really just do that? I am just blown away by this. And again, she's trying to say that she wants to be anti-racist or she's speaking up against racism, but also just centering herself right there with everyone else, isn't she? I'm blown away by this, and definitely not in a good way. Oh boy. And this is the thing. Being black has no ill health effects other than the poor treatment and the medical discrimination, especially there's so much we could get into with that. There's definitely been a lot of ill treatment and discrimination. Absolutely. But obesity, especially morbid obesity, has a ridiculous amount of comorbidities alongside with it. You want diabetes? Do you want heart failure? Just take your damn pick, right? There's so damn many. And she's going to try to sit there and conflate obesity with someone's skin color. I mean, I know that these groups have conflated these issues so many times in the past. They absolutely have. But for her to say it just so succinctly like that, just right out loud with her whole chest, that's very bold. Wow.
The blackness wasn't the problem. The problem was the system that ever made anyone think they needed to be anything other than what they are. It's radical acceptance versus stringent rules. And the only way that you get to live a good life of comfort and privilege is if you submit to us and you change who you are. The genetics you were given aren't good enough.
Oh, she's just digging a bigger hole for herself, isn't she? Wow. She's just going to keep digging till the end of time at this point. I feel like, oh my goodness. There are so many side effects that come with being morbidly obese. Again, I couldn't tie my own shoes. That's not even a medical one, but that in and of itself was a problem. I had obesity-induced asthma. I had symptomatic, untreated PCOS. I had high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. My joints hurt all the damn time. And so many other things were compounding at this point. And imagine, I was 25 at my heaviest, and I was going through all that in my mid-20s. So at 42 now, I could only imagine what my health would be like if I hadn't lost all this weight. And again, she's trying to center herself in a conversation that is including racism, classism, what's going on over in Palestine right now. And I should not be surprised because these groups have conflated these issues so many times in the past. But for someone just to say it out loud and not even allude to it. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and see if she keeps digging.
It's all the same thing. I don't like to get like preachy on the internet, or like I try not to have this like smug affect that so many influencers do. And so I hope this doesn't come off that way, but I just want people to understand like the intersectionality of this is all one big problem with the same roots and problems. And the system of oppression, the interwoven systems of oppression, they want us to believe that they're different things. We can't build a coalition to do something about it.
And does our friend think that what she's doing is going to lead to coalition building? Just genuinely curious. There are so many creators out there that talk about intersectionality and the ways that these things do overlap. Not necessarily with fat people and everything else she's trying to interject. But yes, when we're talking about race and class and so many other things, absolutely. There are plenty of individuals who do speak on those things. Why? Because they actually have the education and the experience to do so. I don't understand why our friend thinks she has the authority to talk about these things like this. I just am genuinely curious. Again, is this actually going to lead to coalition building? Because she's over here trying to tell everybody that it doesn't really matter what you're going through. It's all the same, and we're all going through the same crap. When in reality, even if there are areas where things overlap, even if there is nuance to a lot of these things, we can definitely agree that there are levels of severity to these things that are going on. And for example, what's going on in Palestine? Pretty much the highest level of severity that we can reach, right? A voluntary medicine that you're not required to take if you don't want to, friend. It's literally nothing. It's not even a drop in the bucket or the ocean compared to what actual severity is.
And it feels like now is an important time to get straight on that. Yes?
Well, yeah, I can agree with our friend on that. It would be very nice if she actually got straight on this. And look, I know that I'm bendy and that I can take any shape that I want. But that was just ridiculous. Oh my goodness. But our friend is not done yet, so let's go ahead and check out this next one and see what else she has to say. Okay, and this next clip is 8.5 minutes long. And basically she says that she knows that they're not all the same thing and that we must have all gotten that wrong. And why don't we just go ahead and read these books about it? Of course, fearing the black body, right? Let me just go ahead and throw you some clips in, and I'm going to save us from a full 8.5 minutes of this.
I am not experiencing racism the way a black person would, obviously. I am not experiencing extermination the way people in the Middle East are. And by the way, somebody said, we can tell that you're saying Middle East because that tells us your stance. No, that's a genocide, okay? We know that that's a genocide. Don't be stupid. And don't act like I don't know that. And don't act like I don't know that widespread Ozempic use isn't the same thing as a fucking genocide. I didn't think I had to say that out loud because I assumed y'all were smart enough to know. Anyway, I really encourage you to read Fearing the Black Body.
So basically, it feels like our friend still thinks that she's right about this, despite all the pushback that she has gotten. And that if we don't agree with her, well, she's still right. Let's go ahead and check out one final clip from our friend and see if maybe she clears any of this up.
Make the robes bigger. Make the towels bigger. I am a size 18, which is the exact size of the average woman in America, and I'm tall as shit. So Circumference-wise, I'm smaller than the average woman in America, and I cannot wear a towel.
Ooh, wait. What did she just say? Okay, she says that she is a size 18, which is the exact size of the average woman in America. Which, well, Katie actually just covered that in her last video last week about sizing and how averages might not be the full story on all of that. And well, the data we have on that, it's from 2016, so it's 9 years out of date now. And that said the average woman was a size 16 or an 18. So, okay, that might be a little nitpicky. But then she says that she's taller than the average woman, which means that her circumference is smaller than the average woman. And that doesn't make any sense. That's just not how it works at all. Your circumference, that's your measurements. And your measurements, that's your size. Being taller or shorter, that's just going to indicate the length. So if you wear petites or you need talls or longs, that's the only thing that it's going to change. It's not going to change the number on the tag or the letter on the tag just because you're taller. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are occasionally times I will size up so that way I do get extra length, but that's typically because they didn't offer it in talls and it's my only solution. So what she just said doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but we'll go ahead and be generous and keep watching the rest of this and see what she has to say.
A towel at any gym, at any hotel. I can't wear a robe. They don't close. My hoo-ha's hanging out. My inner hanging out.
I really hope that's not happening in the gym. I really hope that our friend is wearing workout appropriate clothing in the gym. I mean, I understand when you're getting out of the shower maybe, but you can ask for multiple towels at every hotel I've ever stayed at. And I've stayed at some pretty questionable hotels over the years. I've always been able to ask for as many towels as I ever needed. So I can understand that, yeah, they're a little bit small sometimes, but you can get like 5 towels if you need it. And realistically, if you're in your hotel room, like, why would you be worried about what's hanging out of a towel? I mean, personally, if I'm in my hotel room, I'm going to make sure that my hotel room door is closed and locked before I take my shower. And then, you know, whatever happens behind that door, I guess that's just between me and God, right?
Why would we not make things that fit the average person? I know you guys hate fat people. I do. I know it. But you hate average people? I'm not even asking you to make like a 6X robe. Though you should, because it's a one-size-fit-all if you make it big enough.
A 6X is not a one-size-fit-all. Oh my goodness. If you go ahead and put that on a size small, like literally, that's not going to fit them at all. What on earth is she talking about? Yeah, it might fit her. And look, Katie was wearing oversized clothing in the last video, but a 6X, and that's going to fit everybody? That's not going to fit anyone else that's smaller than a 6X and can't stretch like I can to fill things out. It's not a one-size-fits-all at all. So, 6X? Are we really losing the plot that much now? A 6X?
Opposite of Brandy Melville. That's the kind of store I'm going to open. Anti-Brandy Melville. Everything is a 6X. And you can put it on any body. Wear a belt, bitch. Make the fucking robes bigger.
And they do make larger robes. They absolutely do. They just might not have it in a hotel. And guess what? They're probably not going to have a robe long enough for me in a hotel. Because I like my robes to go to the floor. So I always have to seek those out. And they're not always easy to find when, like, I'm 5'9". And I know that there are plenty of people who are way taller than me. So again, there's like lots of times I end up having to buy men's stuff. But they absolutely make this stuff. And if it's that big of a deal to her, she can bring her own robe to a hotel. Like,
do you want fat people working out or not? Make the robes bigger. Make the towels bigger.
And never once have I needed a larger towel or a larger robe to complete a workout. That's just not been on the list of equipment that I needed. Like, That's absolutely ridiculous. Whenever I've been given a gym towel at any gym I went to, which to be fair was a long time ago at the Y, but you get like little tiny towels because those are meant to be the towels that you use to clean the machines with. That's not meant to be the towel that you go and like clean yourself or dry yourself off with. You're supposed to use that to clean the machine. So again, if these are that big of a deal to her, she can bring her own towel to the gym. That really is not that big of a deal. Just like you can bring a robe to a hotel. You don't need everyone to cater to you. You can take what you need with you.
Make this shit bigger. Make belts bigger. It's hard to find a belt for me in the store. What the hell? What the hell?
Okay, we're on to not being able to find a belt in store. Really? Didn't our friend just say she's a size 18? I find that very difficult to believe that if she is a size 18, that she can't find any belts in store. I bet you if I were to even go up to my thrift store right now, I could find a whole bunch of belts in stock that would more than likely fit our friend. Now, would they be her style or what she's actually looking for? I mean, who the hell knows, of course. But she can't find any belts in stores? I mean, I'll be honest, when I knew I was going to have trouble finding jeans in stores when I was size 26 in jeans, and they didn't carry a size 28 in the brand that I wore, I took that as a sign that I might need to change some of the trajectory of my life. But I find it very difficult to believe that if she is a size 18, that she is having trouble finding any belt in store. So there we have it, our new friend McKenna and, well, her many claims that, well, quite frankly, I can't wrap my mind around. I have no idea how she stretched further than me. I'm actually kind of feeling a little defeated right now because I thought I had the ability to infinitely stretch. And then we met our new friend, and she was able to reach way further than I even dreamed possible. But maybe that's just me. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? I'm genuinely curious, and I love reading all of your responses. That is where we will leave things today. I thank you so much for joining me. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye! Hi, Folky. What do you think, sweetums? What is your superpower? Yeah? Is it being fluffy and sweet? Yeah, is that what your superpower is, baby girl? Yeah? Or you got something. Oh,